Okay, I can't remember where I left off with the video, so recap. I have put the new cog inside the core of this thing, this DC motor. I put the new motor core gasket in after splitting this one when I was taking the motor to bits. And I have re-greased everything with that mobile or aeronautical grease. And so now it just remains put everything back into the bike and connect back up all the sensors. I think the last thing I did was I just connected it up, as you see here, to see did everything work. And in fact, what happened was I got an error 21H, which when I look up the error codes for Bafang Motors means is speed sensor. So this is the speed sensor here, and it behaves and likes the world and life in general, where it can see its little magnet. And because I have everything stationary and I was just running the motor without connecting it up to the chain and obviously the transmission of the bike, that's why I was getting 21H, the speed sensor, because it was never really ticking past this thing. So what I did was I tilted the bike and I just spun the wheel while I had the motor on, and then the error went away. And what was happening was I was getting the error code 21H and the DC motor was turning off. And I thought, oh shite, that's no good. Not if I'm going up a hill and it suddenly turns off. But all good, I think. Everything's fine. And of course, I'll test it again when I have it all back together. But so for now, next steps are going to be putting the motor back in here, putting the obviously the chain back on, putting the crank arms back on, and then testing it, make sure everything works, and then cable management. I gotta figure out a clever way of hiding or making tidy all these wires. What I hope to do was use the hollow aluminium frame here by taking this out and feeding wire through here, but of course I can't do that because it's come from the factory with dirty great big adapters and things on it, and I don't want to have to start snipping those off and resoldering, because that's a bridge too far. I could do it, but I'd rather not. The other thing I'm going to do before I forget to mention it is I don't need to worry about this here in California, because I don't even go out in the rain here. But when it does rain, like in Ireland, you're going to need to put dielectric grease inside of these connectors here just to make them waterproof, because these are just pin male to female adapters. But a bit of dielectric in there wouldn't hurt at all if you were living in a rainier climate than I am. I might just do it anyway, just to be a purist. And then, like I say, cable management. So I'll be tying all the cables to pre-existing cables. So like this throttle cable, I'll be zip tying it to probably the, what's that, left hand in America? That would be the front brake, just so it's tidier. And then probably tie wrapping, zip tying cords behind this frame underneath here and all the way down to the motor. Motor's going to stick out in a big way here, and I'll probably have a lot of wires still to zip tie together and wrap some around in between the frame and the motor, and then we should be good to go. Then it's test riding time. But so far all good, everything's working. I was a little delayed because I just put on, you might remember this museum piece here, I just put on some Wazoo sensors on my Team Rally bike from the 80s, and this is my trainer. Put another one here on the rear hub, and they speak to my cell phone. So I put an adapter for the cell phone on the handlebar, so when I'm training I can test my speed, my cadence, and my heart rate now. The other thing I have is a wristband for that. And my road bike, or gravel bike, well, they're now called gravel bikes, but it's a hybrid, is up in the stored up there on my pole storage. All right, more when I have this thing on the bike and we get to testing or cable tying or some such.